Welcome to Duo Chat with Brittany
and Cynthia, where we talk about drama shows
like Dawson's Creek, One Tree Hill, and more.
Hi everyone, I'm Brittany.
And I'm Cynthia.
And today we're talking about Season 7, Episode 19. Title, Every Picture Tells a Story. Air date April 26, 2010, and the synopsis is...
Gwen's gallery opens with Clay very supportive but unaware that he is being stalked by Katie. Josh's sex tape with Alex is emailed to Julian's father with a demand of $1 million, putting the film in jeopardy. Miranda finds out she's being deported, thus putting a damper with Grubb's recording. The Grubbs finds a way around it by proposing to her. Lauren tells Skills that she has fallen for someone else, but he is unaware of his mouth until he sees a photo of them at the gallery. Meanwhile, Victoria's affair with Alexander is exposed in more than one way. Elsewhere, Nathan and Jamie spend a guy's evening together, and later he asks Haley if she would be ready to try for another baby. She tells him she took a pregnancy test and it was negative, but is she telling him the whole story is what they put.
You better cut half of that out. Just because we're talking about it.
Yeah, I always remove some of it. So then Julian wakes up to breakfast in bed made by Brooke. He actually did to deserve it, and Brooke said it's his last day at work as the director of the movie, but she thought the occasion deserved something special. And then he jokes that besides for a lead actress getting punched, she thinks it's going to be a good film. And she tells him it's going to be a great movie, and if she doesn't miss picking up today's wardrobe, that is. And then she reminds him about Queen's gallery opening later today. And then he asks if she likes calling him boyfriend again. She says she does, and it has a nice ring to it. And he tells her he's glad that they're back together, and she just smiles before walking out.
It's nice that Brooke is finally accepting the movie, and now, do you think she's accepting it because she thinks Alex is going to go away, or...
I don't know.
Like, why would you all be fine now? You know what I mean? Is it because it's towards the end? So you're like, oh, she probably won't be around. Where, like, at the beginning, it's like, oh my God, a couple months of dealing with her I can't do. Or, I mean, it is weird. Like, all of a sudden, she's like, yeah, I'm okay if she's around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what?
Well, I think it's just because Alex told Brooke that, there's nothing going on between them because he loves her, so.
Yeah, but I mean, she could have still she could have still said it, but Brooke still doesn't believe it or whatever. Like, I don't know, just kind of weird. But I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad that that's in the past because it's like all season of that drama. You know what I mean? Like, It's nice to finally wrap it up of they're good now.
Mm-hmm. And then Clay is standing on his back patio when he sees a figure on the sand at a distance that looks like Sarah. Then when Clay walks up greeting him, he tells her that he sees Sarah sometimes, and they talk. And he promises he's not crazy, but he hasn't seen her as much since they've been together. And then that's when Quinn points out that he doesn't have any photos of Sarah around his place, so she doesn't even know what she looks like.
Well, and you know what I think is weird is they've been together for months
a while
now. And she has never seen a picture. Like, you mean to tell me like none of his boxes, or I mean, I know eventually he shows her, but it's like it is weird how he never showed her. You know what I mean? Like, that is a part of who he is still, is her. So you would think that she would have seen a picture or had asked about her. You know what I mean? It is weird. Like, I don't know. Wouldn't you want to know? Because it's not like it's an ex that it's like, go away. I mean, this is someone that can't come back. So I feel like you would be like, oh, let me see a picture of her. Like, because she's still a part of you. Like, I don't know. It is weird how she never asked until now, and he never showed her. Or even when they were just friends, like, he never had a picture of her.
Right.
I do find that weird. And again, because Quinn is living with him now, kind of?
I don't even know.
Well, I mean, I'm sure she's spending the night. So it's like, I don't know, you would just think that, she would have like seen somehow a picture, maybe if she was snooping or something.
Right.
I don't know. It's just kind of weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it does seem late, but at least she tells them that, it's okay to still love her. The memory of her won't diminish them. And then he asks if it's weird that he still sees her, and she says if she could see her mom, she would stay up all night to talk to her. So I did like that, so he doesn't feel weird. Because that was part of his grief until it, becomes a stalker plot, but,
Yeah, that's true.
And then Brooke goes to the store, checking in on the photo shoot that's going on later with Alexander, who is kissing Victoria. When she walks away, she says it feels hot in the back room, and both Alexander and Victoria says it's not hot for them.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Brooke notices her mom's shirt.
I just can't with these two.
Mm-hmm.
Can you?
No.
I mean, do you like these two? I can't. I just can't. Like every time those two are like making out, I'm like with Brooke. What?
Yeah, it's kind of like Debs and Skills, kind of, because before it was Nathan's mom and friend, and now it's Brooke's mom and like coworker,
Well, I don't even think it's just coworker because Brooke owns the company. It's more like employee.
Yeah, yeah.
And Victoria, I don't know. I guess it's now your two coworkers
Mm-hmm.
or your two employees because Victoria, does she own any part of the company?
I don't know.
Like, so that's why I'm like, I don't know. It's weird because like if Victoria is his boss, that's even worse.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I guess that's a little better if you say like I am sleeping with my coworker. Well, that's one thing, but I mean to say you're sleeping with the boss,
Right.
that has a different ring to it, and not a very good one.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you actually tell somebody.
Right. And then Alexander tells Victoria that Brooke is going to catch them eventually, and it's going to end badly, so they have to tell her. And Victoria just tells him not to worry about a thing, and it's more exciting, it being a secret anyways. And then we segue to Mal telling Lauren that they should tell Skills about them.
Oh yeah, you think?
Mm-hmm. And Lauren says they just kissed, and she's not sure what this is between them.
Oh my God, these two are so annoying. Like you know dang well what this is between the two of you, and you're gonna sit there and act like this.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. Like the whole you've been dealing with this for episodes now. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
And also, no one gives a crap what you two are because nobody likes you two together. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like these two together?
Not really.
Shouldn't they be with their respective partners?
Mm-hmm.
Not or anybody else. Not with each other. No.
Right. Yeah, so Mock does point out that it's still something, and they need to be honest with Skills. They at least owe him that.
Yeah, you think?
Mm-hmm. And Lauren understands, but said it's complicated, and says that she should talk to him alone. But then Mal says he needs to be the one to do it.
Yeah,
Since he's the
because
best
that's
friend.
his friend. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, especially like if Lauren is his ex.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it should come from his friend.
Yeah. And then Brick gets to the movie set where Josh is mad because someone stole his laptop from his trailer, and he thinks it was a PA Brian, but he's told that he didn't, and yeah, so he's just trying to figure out what happened.
When Julian says, "Hey, Christian Bale, calm down,"
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, was Christian Bale really like that on set?
I don't know.
I don't know, because you know how if it's true, they'll throw it in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, is he really? Or, like, is there like a joke? Is this the truth? Like, I don't know. So I just didn't know if you knew, like, was he really like a problem? Because I've never really heard he's a problem on set.
Right.
That's why I'm like, what is this?
Mm-hmm. And Julian says that production will replace it, but Josh doesn't care. It's about what's on the computer.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm. At least we know what that is, but Julian doesn't yet. And then Brooke gives him his clothes, so he goes inside his trailer to just throw them back at her and shuts the door again.
Yeah, she's like, it's going to be a great last day.
Mm-hmm. And then Jamie tells Nathan he's bored, and Nathan says,
He says, you're 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. That being said, it's fun.
It was funny, though, because he said, like, guess who's babysitting you tonight? And he goes, oh, please don't say Junk and Fergie. I'm like, didn't you have fun with them? Because you boss them around,
Right.
which is weird. I do think that Jamie would have fun with them because he would get to be the boss.
Mm-hmm.
And where anybody else, like, yeah, he can kind of coerce them to do whatever he wants to do. Like, Brooke, I want ice cream past a certain time. Well, she'll probably do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where, his parents wouldn't. But it's like, also, Brooke and Skills are better, like, adults. They know right from wrong, what kids should and shouldn't be doing. Where Chuck and Fergie are kind of kids themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm like, wouldn't you rather have the children who are, who act like the adults who act like children babysit you compared to others
Mm-hmm.
who will literally tell you it is time to go to bed?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. So I thought that was weird when he said that because I'm like, what? But then Nathan said, no, he's going to. And I was like, okay. But this also made no sense. Quinn's mother also passed away. Why wouldn't Nathan go to support his sister-in-law?
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, Jamie maybe said he didn't want to go, but sometimes we just tell kids they have to. But
I know, but why would Nathan not go? Like, I agree, get him a babysitter, but like, why would he not go?
I don't know.
And also, like, if you really think about it, like for Mouth, what does he really? He doesn't hang around Quinn. Like, they barely know each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all season 7, he was never like around her. So why does he need to go? Why can't he babysit Jamie? Do you know what I mean? Like, realistically, it should have been like Mouth watching Jamie and Nathan going to the party, the opening, because that is his sister-in-law. Like, and also, you want Haley to be alone at this opening because, like, it's Quinn's night. She's going to be the star of it. Clay is going to be there with her. You want Haley alone? Like, what? So I also thought that was weird too. I'm like, you really wouldn't do that. Especially Nathan of all people.
Yeah, but
that was weird.
Yeah, that was weird too. How he called himself the babysitter though, as well.
Because he said he's babysitting.
Well, yeah, because he's Jamie's dad, so he's not the babysitter. But
well, that's what they always say about the dads. They always like, people always like to say like, oh, the dad is babysitting, and it's like, no, it's not babysitting. It's him taking care of his child. Someone that he was 50% part of, being responsible for. It's like, that's why I do hate it. Whenever people say it, or they say, oh, that's so sweet of him being the babysitter. No, I mean, he's being the father. Or have you ever noticed too, they'll always say like, oh, he's such a good dad babysitting. What? You mean because he's being a parent?
Yeah.
You would never say that to a mother or about a mother.
Right.
People don't think that about a mother. Oh, she's babysitting her child. But they always say it about the fathers. And it's annoying because no, they're being exactly what the mother is, a parent. So yeah, that also rubs me the wrong way whenever people say that about the fathers. Because again, it's like women don't get the respect.
Right.
But fathers do. Just like here, Nathan's getting all the credit for what? being a father? Okay.
And then he says that Haley's getting ready now, and that's when we see that she's actually taking a pregnancy test. But we don't see what it says because we go to the next scene with Grubb singing, but stops because he says it sounds there like he's critiquing it. And Miranda thinks it's great, they don't need to do more to it. And she says that the insecure artist thing is cute, but the song's so great. And he asks whatever happened to her protecting him as an artist, and she asks if he remembers the guy who became the last time he recorded the one he didn't like. And she thinks he's back, and she tells him again the song is great and to play it. And then his song is used to transition to the next scene with Haley. And Quinn walks in with her, to the gallery, complimenting her. where Haley compliments her, telling her like, you know, she looks like a work of art. And then she asks how does she feel about the opening tonight. And Quinn says she feels half excited, half ready to panic. And Haley assures her she's going to do great.
Well, I can see why she'd panic. I mean, it's the opening. Plus, I don't think she's ever done this before.
Right.
Also, I mean, again, you see it like in the two of them, like the difference of the aftermath of their mom dying is Quinn seems to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's having the opening, she's focusing on that, where Haley isn't. She's just putting on a smile.
Right.
So you see the difference in the two of them.
Mm-hmm. And then Quinn gives Haley a gift to say thank you for being there for the past year. And it's a framed photo of them when they were little girls. Or no, I'm sorry, it's Haley as a little girl with their mom. And then Quinn says she wants the evening to go well tonight for their mom. And then Mom
but shouldn't she also be wanting it to go well for herself?
Yeah, I think she just said that too because her mom was the one that, you know, made this happen by renting it out for her.
Because I don't know, just kind of like, but also for yourself. Like, you can say your mom, like 100%, but like, also say it for yourself because you should be doing it for yourself, never for others.
Mm-hmm.
Like when people are like, oh, I'll finish college for my mom, or I'll do this for my dad. It's like, no, you should do things for yourself. Like, no one's gonna, you know, get you to do it but yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, yeah, her mom could have rented the space, but like nothing was gonna happen unless Quinn did it herself, which she did. So be proud of yourself.
Mm-hmm. And then Mount gets home to hear Skills on the phone say that he didn't see it coming either. And he thinks it's the best move for the both of them. And he hangs up and tells Mount that if things go well, he can stay in Tree Hill and work from there. And Mount asks, you know, what if it doesn't? Will he go back to LA? And Skill says no, because California isn't the place to meet somebody. And it gave him some time to think, and he missed what he had with Lauren. He's going to get her back.
It's not a place to meet someone.
I guess he just didn't like the kind of people that were over there. Yeah.
There's all kinds of people over there.
Mm-hmm. And then Mouth asks Skills if he's talked to Lauren about this, and he says no, but he's going to.
Because he wants her back.
Mm-hmm. And Mouth asks what if he doesn't get the job at home, and Skills says he'll just quit. And he mentions to Mouth that he did the same thing for his job in Omaha for Millie, which is true.
Yeah, but I mean, look at how well it turned out. They're not together. Mm-hmm. You know, yeah. Which I will say, I think for Mouth, like I'm never trying to be on his side because of what he's doing, but like, should like I don't know, like if you were in his shoes, would you be like, well, look at how that turned out? Like we're not together. Mm-hmm. Like I gave up a dream, and we're not even together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at what my life could have been. Like I could have found somebody else in Omaha. Like. I don't know. Like, I just feel like that's what you probably would say, especially if you're trying to hide that you're secretly with his love of his life. You should maybe turn that around by saying it didn't work out with you. I don't know, because it is true. Yeah, I was surprised that Mouth didn't say that.
Yeah.
He didn't even really say anything. I was just kind of like, what? Like, okay.
I think he was just thinking about everything going on right now with him and Lauren.
Or I think he was just maybe shocked that Skills wants to give it all up.
Yeah.
For her after the fact, and that he is so gun home now to get her back, no matter what it takes. And Mouth's like, oh crap.
Right.
Because he's like, I actually like her. Why? I have no idea. Like, no. I think the only thing these two truly bonded over is the fact that they were alone.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Because they're partners or either getting a job or, you know, going to jail and spiraling. I think really that's what it was. I think it was just that they were alone. And that's it, which is really never how your relationship is supposed to start.
Right.
It's kind of like the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he said he's going to talk to Lauren tonight. And then Clay goes with Quinn to the gallery now and he turns on the lights, revealing her photography hung up. And they think it looks perfect. It's going to be a perfect night. But then we see, watching from across the street, is Katie in her car.
Yep.
Kind of like what Dan used to do a lot. And then later during the opening that night, Quinn is amazed at the turnout because it is packed. But she's nervous about them liking her work or not. And Clay says they'll love it, happy, saying that he's happy for her, at least until he sees a giant picture of himself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm kind of surprised she didn't tell him about that. Yeah.
Or he didn't see it.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah.
Like, how do you not see it? Like all the art was on the wall. Like all the pictures were already on the wall, and he's been there. So I don't understand how he never saw it.
Maybe she hung it up at the last second to surprise him, probably when he wasn't there. Like maybe he left for a second, or I don't know if there's a bathroom in there. Maybe he was there when she hung it up.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I think it might be the biggest one there too, out of all of them.
Oh, it is. I feel like.
Mm-hmm. And then Quinn brings Clay to the area where guests can take their own portrait, and the camera feeds it to the flat screens in the gallery, to the live art, which is nice, but we know that has consequences later.
Well, that, but also, is she telling anyone that that's what it's for?
I guess not, no.
Because I don't know, it just seems like that's kind of, because if you want to go in private, you'd probably go back there, but it's like, do people know that if they go back there, they're going to be on camera? Like, you should probably tell people because that's really invasive.
Right.
To just take pictures of people without them knowing, like, what? Especially because I feel like, don't you think that if Mouth and Lauren knew, they wouldn't have done it? Like, they would have went there.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it seems like it's kind of like a photo booth thing where you take pictures of yourself.
Yeah.
And then Quinn said that she got the idea from the slideshow that he made for her mom too. And then they take a picture of themselves for the screens in the gallery. And then Mouth and Lauren talk about one of the photographs, and then Lauren asks if Mouth has talked to Skills.
Okay, so all right. Mouth knows that Skills is going to be there at this opening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why in the would you go with Lauren, knowing that he's going to be there? Like, Lauren can go because maybe her and Quinn became friends, right? But like, why do you need to be there with her? They went together, knowing he's gonna be there, knowing he wants to talk to her.
I thought they just went there separately, and it's probably a certain time that it opened, so they were just there.
Well, at the end, they go home together.
Oh,
so that's why.
Together?
That's why I just figured that they came together.
Oh yeah, they're in the car.
Yeah, so I just figured they also came together.
Mm-hmm.
But even still, even if they had met up there, why? He's gonna be there, and he wants to talk to her. So like, and you also have not told her that you two are together. So like, why in your brain would you say, "Oh yeah, let's stand right here in public where I don't know if he's here or not, and let's talk and let's get close"? Like, what? Like, wouldn't you be like, okay, tonight we're going to stay far away from each other because he doesn't know. I don't want him to find out yet because I haven't told him. So we're going to stay on opposite sides of the room.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. A normal person with a brain would think that.
Right.
And would tell that person. And also, and definitely would give the heads up. I just thought that was odd. I was like, why would you go to a public setting and not stay away from each other?
Right.
But okay.
Mm-hmm. And then it was awkward when Skills walked up because he called them his favorite people.
Yeah.
And then wants to talk to Lauren alone. But then we go back to the house with Nathan and Jamie. And he's teaching Jamie to shave, even though he's only 7. So it's just probably a little bonding thing. And that's when Jamie finds out that Nathan wasn't the nicest guy in the world when he was younger. And he said that him and Lucas used to fight a lot. And Jamie points out that he's not like that now. And Nathan says that being with Haley made him a better person.
And then I did like when he said that. Well, your mom and Uncle Lucas did, because it is true. Lucas did turn him around too.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jamie said, "Must have been fun growing up with a brother, like having a best friend." And that's when he said that they weren't close until they got older.
Right.
Which I like how he was kind of putting it like a kid version
Mm-hmm.
instead of being like, "Oh, we beat each other up."
Yeah, or lied and said that they always got along.
Yeah. But I was like, he definitely didn't tell him like the worst of the worst, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, save that for when he's in his 20s.
Yeah.
Or never.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was funny though when Jamie said like, "Oh, when am I gonna have to truly shave?" And he said, "If you're like me when you're 22," because it's obviously funny because that's when we saw him with facial hair.
Right.
It was when he was like 22, so I thought it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, if you remember, because I mean, it was funny that when Jamie brought up like, "Oh, was that how you got mom?" And I'm like, he was definitely like a baby face back then. Like he definitely didn't have facial hair, and that's why I thought it was funny when he said 22. Because I'm like, yep, and clearly at that point they were a family of 3, so it was just funny.
Yeah. And then Haley's looking at a specific picture at the gallery, and Quinn tells a story of how she got it. So then Haley decides to be the one to be the first person to buy Quinn's art, be the first sale. And then Brooke, Julian, Alex, and Josh walk over now. And Haley sees Brooke and Julian back together.
Yeah, and she's all surprised. And again, it is weird because this is what, a week after her mom died? Because I mean, they already had the funeral. So it is weird how like she didn't tell Haley.
Well, I guess because Haley was going through a lot, that's why Brooke didn't tell her about what's going on with her.
Okay.
And then Josh only cares if there's pictures of people and you there. Of course, I really don't know how they even got Alexander to go with them, but Alex says not to pay attention to him. And
You mean Josh?
Yeah, what I say?
You said Alexander.
Oh, well, I meant to say Alex. Actress
Yeah.
Alex. Yeah, they should have probably given different names. Yeah. So she pulls Josh to go find drinks, and Haley hopes the movie will be over soon, so they won't see Josh anymore. And Julian lets Haley know that the last day of filming was today, and Quinn and Julian congratulate each other on their projects, which was nice because we don't really see them interact very often.
Yep.
And then Clay watches Quinn probably from afar, but from a distance from him is Katie getting closer now in her stalking. And then Skills and Lauren are walking around together. Skills mentions to Lauren that she's been distant since he got back, and then says he owes her an apology because he came back to Tree Hill because he loves her and he can't be apart from her, and he should have never left. And he wants her to feel the same way, but Lauren tells him, things are different now. Maybe if they never split up, He brings up how she didn't want to go to LA, so he fixed it. He's home now, and he asks why can't it be like how it was.
And then he said, "Is there someone else?" And she says, "I don't know."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And then Paul shows the video of Josh and Alex to Julian.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is Paul at this opening?
I guess probably to show Julian the video, like an emergency kind of thing. He's not there for Quinn, of course. He doesn't know Quinn. So.
Because that was my thing. Was like, clearly we already just saw Julian at the opening, and we see him still at the opening. So like, why would his father show up to the opening? I was like, he doesn't know Quinn. He doesn't know that side, that world. So I'm like, what?
Yeah, because then they just walk in that little area, that room or whatever behind the curtain, and that was it. We didn't see him walk into the gallery or anything, from the door.
I'm not sure, but it was just weird.
It kind of does look like he was already there, yeah. So apparently someone emailed the video to Paul that morning, and someone who knows that he'll do just anything, Julian will do anything to protect Alex from getting out.
But she will.
Mm-hmm. and Julian finds Alex to show her the video of her and Josh.
It was fun. It was funny when he like pulled her and
Yeah.
like we need to talk sort of thing. It
Mhm.
was funny.
Yeah. So he tells her that it was emailed to his dad, Paul, and Alex says she didn't do it. And Julian sarcastically says that, sure looks like you're screwing him in the video. And Alex explains that she did sleep with him, she just didn't make the video. And she asks Julian if he got it from Josh, and Julian says he got it from someone who's trying to blackmail his father for a lot of money. And then he actually tells Alex to kill him because it would save him time. And Alex says that's not fair, And then Julian says,
she says that's not fair because she thinks that she's a changed person, not because of what he said.
Right. And Julian says what's not fair is he keeps trying to find the best version of her, and she keeps showing him the worst version. So do you think it makes sense that he went to Alex first and not Josh at all about the video?
Well, I think he wanted to make sure she wasn't the one probably that did it. Also, no, I think he wanted to confront her. Like, again, I keep trying, but you keep showing me that who you are. So no, I think he was just upset. I don't even think he really wants to talk to Josh. Because clearly he's the one that started this whole thing.
Because it's just, Julian already knows that Josh isn't a good person, so it could be him too, but he doesn't really think about it.
Yeah, so I think he already knows who he is, so he's like, really? Like, come on, Alex, like, I keep trying, like, I thought you were good. Thought you were gonna change over a new leaf and be a new person, but clearly you're the same old person. But it's like, actually, that's a little far-fetched. Okay, like, we know that, but he don't know that.
And then Lauren tells Mal that she told Skills that they can't go back to the way things were, and he was really upset. And Mal says he knows that you take the high road and let her
so again, let's keep talking. After you talk to him, let's just keep talking in public. Okay.
Yeah, but he really likes her, and Lauren reminds him it's also her decision. She has feelings for him too. And that's when they're in the self-portrait area, and the camera takes a picture of them because they're sitting right in front of it.
Yeah, because when they said something about how, like, oh, well, him not finding out yet and all this, I was like, well, he's about to find out because you two are dumb enough to stand right there and get your picture taken. Again, did these two know? Like, that's what I just want to know. Clearly, we'll never find out. But, like, because, I mean, I guess maybe they could have known that their picture was going to be taken. They just were she was kind of heated over the whole, Skills thing that maybe they didn't think of where they were standing, but also they might not have known. So I just want to know, but I know we'll never find out.
And then Skills walks.
Oh, and also terrible way for Skills to find out in public.
Yeah. And then it's kind of like the time when the tape of Nathan and Brooke was shown at that party in front of everybody too.
Oh, also, do you remember, like, in this episode when Quinn and Clay's picture was taken, it was posted on the wall right then and there as soon as it was taken?
And this seemed to have like some minutes of a delay, you mean?
Well, yeah, this seemed to be like way into the episode is when their picture came up, and I'm like, when it was Quinn and Clay, it was right up there, right after it was taken. And here it's taking a while because don't you think if it was up on the wall, either Skills would see it or Chase, because he's with Chase right now. Like Chase would be like, oh, or like making something so that Skills turns around and then there he sees it. Like, sweet how the picture was taken or up there way after. I was like, that threw me off because I was like, that doesn't make any sense. How can the first picture be up there as soon as it's taken?
Yeah, they just didn't time that out right. They should have pushed this part when they were getting the picture taken, a little bit later. I think they just like wanted to build everything up until it, all came out at the same time. But yeah, that was way too soon for them to do that. And then Skills walks to the bar where Chase is dressed in a tux to bartend. And she asks how Skills been, and Skills answers he's just thirsty and wants 4 shots. And then and that's already before he even found this out, so he's gonna really want to drink after that. But Miranda's at the studio on the phone, saying there must be something that she can do with getting extension for her visa.
Yeah, and she's not listening to anything Grubbs is saying or doing.
Right. And Grubbs is talking to her.
I'm getting annoyed.
Yeah. And saying the Beatles only took a month to record Abbey Road, and they're taking forever to do this one. And then she says, sounds great, but she's not going to be around to finish it with him because she's going back to England. And Grubbs doesn't think she's serious at first because she said that they were going to be working together on this. And he imagined that she'd be at least in the same hemisphere as him. And she tells him that she was, tried everything to try to fix it, but it's no use. She's being deported. And he asks where does that leave them, and she says there's not going to be a them. And then Brooke can't believe Victoria's talking to Paul after we stood her up. She doesn't know the full story there either.
Okay, and here's the thing. Paul was there. Wouldn't Brooke have confronted him?
Yeah, but maybe she didn't want to make a scene because it's Quinn's night, probably. And we know that it gets interrupted anyhow later. But besides for the thought of her mother having sex is gross, Alexander says he doesn't think it's gross. She's an attractive woman.
And she was like, stop. Like this.
Yeah.
She's like, I cannot talk about my mother and sex with you. It was funny.
Yeah, but you think that would have been Brooke's hint that something was going on between them?
Yeah, like why does he like her? Why does he keep sticking up for Victoria? Like, yeah, like I would have been like, what? What did you just say about my mother?
And then she tells Alexander to stick with with what he knows, like designing super hot clothes and sleeping with skinky actresses, me and Alex.
Yeah, which again is weird if he did move on
And he
from
says,
the whole thing. Yeah.
He says a thanks, like knowing that was a very backhanded compliment.
Yep, she was definitely digging at him.
Why?
I have no idea. Oh yeah, because he was sticking up for Victoria. Okay.
And then Alex confronts Josh filming them having sex.
Well, and then it was weird. She said, "You filmed us."
Yep.
You stared at the computer.
Yeah, we talked about this last time. Yeah. It was weird that. Yeah.
What?
Yep. Yeah, so it would have been different if he somehow could figure out how to record them with the screen, turned off or something, or covered up, being suspicious like that. But it was right there.
Because, like, even if it was open and like the laptop was open and she didn't know it was recording, like I feel like she would have been like, "Are you recording us?" Because the laptop was facing them, like you. Especially because Josh is creepy. Like, I feel like you would ask that question. Like it's not a regular person like Alexander who wouldn't film them. It's Josh. So like, of course, he's got something up his sleeve. So I feel like that's something you would say, and how it was faced and everything, and especially like because you looked at the laptop. So like, yeah, I guess maybe she didn't know it was recording. But I feel like you would ask,
right?
Like, are you recording us? Like, why is this facing us and open? Like, I don't know. Because the look on her face was like, I know, because she looked right at it. But then here, she's like, I don't know. Why did you put what? What do you mean you don't know? So this is why I'm just so confused at that. Like that scene to this. I got nothing.
Right. So Alex tells Josh that now Julian and Paul are being blackmailed for $1 million for this.
She said thanks to you.
Yeah.
That was funny.
And it ruined all of their careers after they were trying the film. And Josh says it's not his fault because his computer was stolen, and she tells him what she doesn't get is why he would make the tape of himself having sex when he sucks at it, which was funny. And Josh tells Alex to be professional about this. He's been the whole time.
I was gonna say, like, he's just so professional himself.
And then at the house, Nathan and Jamie are playing Guitar Hero while their faces are painted like Kiss. And then they end up in full costume rocking out. And then back at the gallery, Julian tells Brooke the reason that Josh was freaked out about the stuff that was on his computer was because there was a tape of him and Alex on there, or Shouldn't it be kind of video? I mean, I get why the origin of sex tape came from, but you think video would be used, at this point. Anyways, now that being blackmailed, and Julian tells Brooke she warned him of Alex and told her that it wouldn't work, he shouldn't work with her, and maybe he should have just let her fail. But the tape may bring the movie some free publicity, and Brooke tells him whoever said there's no such thing as bad publicity was never on a sex tape, and she knows that too. And
Then she said you have to help her.
Mm-hmm. Which was kind of surprising for Brooke to say.
But I guess because Brooke, she was thrown off when it was shown publicly because she thought that would never come out. And so I think now she's putting herself in Alex's shoes of like, well, she probably didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And she knows what it's like to be exposed like that. So that's probably why she said it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she knows deep down his heart wants to help her, and she's not texting him, telling him this. She really means it. And then Clay walks up to the bar now, and Chase lets him know that they only have weak drinks, like a select. So Clay chooses a beer, and then Quinn tells Clay that someone bought his portrait.
Okay. Oh my God. So when they show her, Clay drops his drink.
And then Quinn doesn't question why.
I wanted to see that scene so dang bad. I was like, okay, great, because it kind of faded out. It's like normally it'd be a commercial, but for us it was, right into the next scene. But I'm like, cool, we're about to see it. And then nothing. And I was like, oh, this is what this episode needed. I needed to see Clay. I needed to see his reaction right after her reaction, her being like, what was that? And nothing at all. I'm like,
I guess she thought he dropped it accidentally.
I was being punked. I was like,
he just slipped.
I want to see it so bad. Even if it was just a slip, I want her to say, "Are you okay?" That's something you would say. Like, okay, if I dropped my glass, wouldn't you be like, "Are you okay?" You'd have said something.
Yeah.
I wanted to see her say something to him. Come on. Let's be honest. We could have cut Mouth and Lauren 10 seconds so we could have watched that.
Right.
Okay, I'm sorry, but like some people are less entertaining, right? And don't mesh well. That would be Mouth and Lauren. Okay, well, let's give us some entertainment. This. If we have to deal with Katie, then I want this scene.
Right.
I need them to go back in time and redo this. Less of Mouth and Lauren and more of Quinn's reaction and Clay. Like, come on now. If you're going to give me him dropping this, I need to see what happened. What about you?
Yeah, I was disappointed that they filmed it like that and just kind of kept going.
Yes, like basically him dropping the glass is pointless.
Right.
I'm like, that was stupid. Like literally stupid.
And then when, introduced Clay to Katie, I don't know, did she say her name? Did she say her name was Katie?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Katie says she loves it and she's happy to be meeting the subject. That makes it more special.
Gross.
And then Katie shakes Clay's hand, acting as if this is really their first time meeting. And then she excuses herself to see the rest of Quinn's photos, but not before giving Clay another look. And Quinn tells Clay that she likes Katie. And then jokes how she'll have to get used to letting her be with him, meaning the picture. And then Clay gets a text from Katie saying Quinn is so wrong for him.
I know. I was like, oh, here we go with like the whole, I'm going to text this person that they're wrong for that person. It's in a lot of movies and shows, and I'm like, ugh. Because the wrong person is you, Katie.
Yeah, it's kind of giving, sorry, I forgot his name. Psycho Derek texting or messaging Peyton.
Yeah, you're right. She is definitely the Psycho Derek in a female version. And kind of this storyline
Mm-hmm.
because Derek tried to be somebody he wasn't, and she's trying to be that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely true. So yeah, why did they then redo the story?
I don't know, but it's definitely worse since Sarah tried to be his late wife. It's worse when you're trying to be someone who's not even alive anymore.
I mean, it was bad to be somebody's brother.
Yeah, but at least, it's more believable because, Clay, of course, knows that, she's not Sarah, but,
Yeah.
So Miranda is taking the fact that she has to leave the country, and Grubbs has accepted that he's going back to his day job of bartending.
Oh yeah. Also, if Quinn would have seen a picture of her at any point as in his wife, then let's see, this scene would never have happened, or it could have been better. We could have seen Quinn like punch her or push her out or something. You know what I mean? Like we could have seen something, but we saw nothing because Clay didn't show her anything.
Right.
Also, when she was kind of lurking around before, shouldn't you have said something?
Mm-hmm.
I would have.
Yeah. And that trick Miranda, or sorry, I just said that already. Yeah, so Miranda tells Grubbs that she'll find someone else to make the album with him. And Grubbs tells Miranda he doesn't want anybody else as a musician. He just he doesn't want anybody else as a musician, and he's just the guy who needs, I didn't know that right. He's just the musician and the guy who needs her, nobody else. And then Clay finds Kate and asks her what she's doing there. And she said she thought she looked hotter as a blonde, and Clay reminds her that he can't represent her. And now she shows up there uninvited, texting him inappropriately in front of his girlfriend. And he asks who does she think she is, and she answers she can be whoever he wants her to be. And he tells her to leave, and she said she felt a connection between the two of them. Guess she was wrong, very wrong. And then Alex was about to take a sip of a drink until Julian stops her and tells her she's not going to find answers there. And she tells Julian he doesn't always have to try to save her, but it seems no matter what she does, she messes things up for him. And she never meant to hurt him or his father or the movie that they made. Now that the film is over, she'll just get out of his way. He can do what he wants with the tape, she'll understand. And Julian tells Alex it's going to be okay, he'll get through it, and she's not going anywhere. He's going to do everything he can to help her.
I thought it was funny when she thanked him and hugged him or whatever. And then he was like, well, you can thank Brooke.
Right.
As he's staring at Brooke.
Yeah, and he smiles at her. So at least that was, a genuine smile, not like kind of jealousy happening there.
Yep.
And then Nathan is reading Jamie The Lord of the Flies before bedtime, and Jamie talks about it, and it was good the boys had each other, so they're not alone. And Nathan asks him if he ever gets lonely, and Jamie says sometimes. And Nathan asks if he'll be okay when he goes off to training camp season soon, and he says yeah, but he likes it better when he's home. And then Nathan tells Jamie that even though she doesn't show it all the time, deep down his mom is still very sad that his grandma died. So while he's away, he needs him to watch out for her, to make sure she doesn't get too sad. And he needs him to be the man of the house.
Oh, also, when they were when they had their scene earlier, I did see Jamie look into the camera.
Oh yeah. I don't think I caught that. I might have, but yeah, he does do that. I mean, I did. He does do that sometimes, at least this season for some reason.
Well, yeah, I know you said you saw it in the last one and I didn't see it, but this one, I literally was like, oh, I gotta tell Cynthia that I saw it this time.
Mm-hmm.
He looked directly there. I was like, I get that it was like fun, like music's playing in the background, blah, blah, blah. Maybe that's why he did it. I don't know, but I'm like, okay, but he did it. Okay.
Yeah, maybe it's just something that I can't remember his name. Who plays Jamie, the actor.
Yeah, I know.
Something he just started doing on his own.
Oh yeah, or I don't know if they directed him to do it. Like, look, I don't know. Look like you're having fun in the camera. I don't know.
Right.
But either way, I saw it.
So Jamie asks if his mom is going to be okay, and Nathan tells him she's going to be fine. They'll both take care of her. And then we go back to the gallery where Haley walks up to Brooke, and Brooke asks Haley how she's doing. Haley says she's good, and Brooke says she knows it must be hard, and her mom played a big part of the gallery. And Haley says Jamie helps, kind of like life's little plan. You have kids, so you have something to hold on to when you lose your parents.
Yep, and then of course Brooke turns all sad, and then she's like, "Oh, what's wrong?" And she goes, I can't have kids. And she goes, what? And I'm like, wait a minute, time out, Haley. Do you remember when Brooke did find out? Instead of telling Julian, the very first person, she did tell Haley that she couldn't have kids. Do you remember that? And she said, oh, Brooke, like, don't worry, you'll have kids. And then now she says, what? You can't have kids? Haley, she told you this. You and us aren't clearly a good friend in this season because you would have known that.
Or maybe it just fogged her memory with her grief right now, you know, because it was kind of a while back too when she told her. It seems
but I feel like if I told you something, you would know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Everybody's different with their memories.
I was like, come on now, Haley. We're going to play this as if you didn't know. Because I remember it.
And then, yeah, so Haley just tells her basically not to give up. She never knows. And then Julian talks about what their next move is when it comes to the tape. And Paul says if they do nothing, it could hurt the film, but $1 million is a lot of money. And that's when Josh walks up and says he's willing to take one for the team. They can release it.
Oh my God.
Paul tells him to shut up, which is funny.
Yep.
Julian asks what if the tape does get out, and Paul says that they're finished making an independent movie. For it to work, they need to make it to a major film festival, and they need people focusing on the film, not the sex tape, and this thing could hurt their chances. So Josh comes back to say that he has a good friend who works at Sundance.
So the one who's blackmailing them.
But now both Julian and Paul tell him to shut up, which is funny. And then Paul says whoever's blackmailing them, they're right about one thing. They have everything on the line. And Julian says they're also right about something else. That he wants to protect Alex, who's fragile, and if the tape gets out, it could destroy her.
Yeah, then Paul goes, now we have $3 million invested in this film. Yeah.
And Josh was still hearing all that. And then Alexander and Victoria hide in a room to talk. So all these rooms just have a curtain, not a door, right?
Are you sure it's not the same one that their pictures are being taken?
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, where are these little spaces they're walking into? And it doesn't seem very private, but just a curtain, covering them. But yeah, so Alexander tells Victoria that they have to tell Brooke. He doesn't think them being together is going to be a good surprise for her. And Victoria says now is not the time. They're on the verge of releasing an important line, and she needs some thinking about business and on them. So Alexander asks her if she's ashamed of their relationship, and she says she's not, and that she told Brooke she was taking a lover. Where's the shame in it being a young?
Which is so funny, like taking a lover.
Right.
Like who says that? Like nobody Brooke's age.
Because he's 25 years younger than she is.
Yep.
And she even keeps going, saying he has abs she can bounce quarters off of.
Okay, let's be honest. She doesn't like Alexander. She likes Alexander's body and what he can do for her that way, and not that she actually likes the person.
Right.
Which is so wrong.
So Skills is telling Chase how things went with Lauren, how she felt for someone else, and he doesn't understand how someone else could, but then he sees the photo of Lauren and Malcolm now finally on the TV.
Yep.
And then, so they're already in the part of the gallery again, so that is a big delay since they already walked out of the room too. And Skills goes to confront Mouth about being Lauren someone else, and Mouth starts telling Skills who's going to talk to him about it, but then Skills punches him in the face, making him pull on the curtain to reveal Alexander and Victoria on the other side of it with Alexander in his boxers.
Such a good scene.
Out of all places.
Well, they were standing. That's because Mouth and Lauren are standing there by the curtain.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying too, like right there in the open, kind of with just the curtain, covering them.
Well, we needed some action because clearly we were going to get none from Quinn and Clay in the glass breaking. So I needed something more, and clearly I got it because I'm like, oh my, this was so good. The punchings, Mouth, and then the curtain revealing those two. I'm like, this is good. This is what this episode needed.
Yeah.
It's making me happy.
So Skills,
I love when people get punched. Especially if it's Mouth doing wrong.
Yeah. And Skills angrily gets, tells Mount, thanks for sleeping with his girlfriend. Meanwhile, Victoria acts like the violence is ridiculous, trying to keep the attention off of her and Alexander.
She was so funny. Did you see him did you
Mhm.
see her when she walked over? She kind of kicked him off, like, get out of the way.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, like how scandalous. Yeah.
And she's like kicking him out of the way.
Like that was the worst scene that happened. Yeah.
Oh my god, I couldn't stop laughing.
And Brooke is in shock, of course, to find out her mom and her co-designer are having sex. And then Skills is bummed sitting at the bar at Trick now, and Grubbs tells him his face has a shot and a beer back, but he thinks this is what he needs. And he asks if he got his heart broken tonight. And Skills says it did, but it was his fault. He had his chance, and he just didn't take it when he should have. Now it's too late. He'll never get it back. And Grubbs says never is a pretty long time. And Skills says he sure just told Lauren how he felt, and that makes Grubbs think about his feelings for Miranda. And Lauren and Knock are silent in the car on the way home. And then Haley tells Quinn she thought the gallery opening did pretty well, and Quinn finds that hard to believe with the fist fight and the public sex and a check for her, for her.
Yeah, that it rocked.
Yeah, so it's back rent and says thanks for being there for her, letting her stay with her.
So how much money do you think that was that she was giving her?
I don't know. Especially if she sold, we don't even know how well she even sold any pictures, but it must have been really well if she wrote a check right there and then. And then Haley says that's what sisters are for. And then Quinn says to Mom what his ultimate like tonight, and Haley says sometimes she thinks about the fact that they're never going to see her again and she can't breathe. And she still can't believe she's gone. And Quinn hugs Haley and says they all miss her. And she tells Haley she was so proud of her. And then we segue to Brooke telling Victoria she hopes she's proud of herself. We can't believe that even she would stoop this low to sexually harass an employee to get back at Paul for seeing her up on a date. So it's kind of funny how that's what Brooke thought was going on.
Yes, and the fact that she still thinks that it's Paul. Like, Paul's the problem. Paul didn't even...
Yeah.
Does he even know Victoria?
Right.
I don't know if these have ever met.
And then that's when Alexander tells Brooke that he was the date. Him and Victoria have been seeing each other. And then Haley gets home to see the house a mess after Nathan and Jamie's boys' night. And Haley tells Nathan she doesn't know where he gets it, but he's a great parent. Nathan says he gets it from her. And says,
is she his mother?
I guess just watching her with Jamie. And, basically doing the same. Yeah.
I don't know. Wasn't he good from when Jamie was a baby?
I don't know.
I mean, not when he had the accident, but like, do you remember when they went to the party when he was like 2 weeks old or something? And Nathan also called just like Haley did. So clearly he was a good parent then at 2 weeks.
Well, maybe he means now that they can make a more of an impression on Jamie, with him being aware and everything. And then that's when he tells her that he wants them to have another baby. And that's when Haley tells him that she had taken a pregnancy test this morning, but it was negative.
And he's like, oh. Then he just said, like, well, try again. And then he's like, you okay? She's like, I'm fine. And then they hug and she ain't fine.
Yeah.
Also, it is weird that she would take a pregnancy test when I really wouldn't think he'd be in the mood.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like, your mom died like a week or two. In the meantime, the week or two that she was there, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that was weird timing.
Thank you. I'm like, what?
And then, do you think that they had too many scenes of Miranda looking like she was going to leave because she kept packing things, walking out, telling goodbye to Grubbs? Like it was the end like 5 different times.
Yes, but I also feel like they had too many scenes of these two that, like, it's going to go nowhere. So why do we have the scenes? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, these are also 2 people that could have been cut their scenes because we don't need them. Like, they're not main characters where we truly care what's happening in their lives. They're the come and go characters. Well, we don't really care that much about the come and goes.
Yeah, so at first here, Grubbs, tells Miranda to marry him so she won't have to leave. And he says she made him a promise and he's holding her to it.
Yeah, and she's like, you gotta be joking.
Yeah, so Miriam fixes everything. All she has to do is say yes. But then we go to Josh telling Alex he's sorry. He never should have made that tape, but he never meant anything for anything to happen with it.
Yeah, okay.
And if there's a way he could take it back, he would. He hopes she can start it or find it in her heart to forgive him. And Alex just tells him since the movie is done, so are they, and closes the door in his face.
He's so full of himself.
Mm-hmm.
It's so annoying.
And then after Josh gets the door slammed in his face, gets a call where we find out that Josh made sure the video leaked on purpose, but not to blackmail Angelina and Paul. So then Clay and Quinn celebrate the gallery opening with champagne, and Quinn asks Clay if he had a good time because it looks like something was bothering him. Now she brings it up.
Yeah, now they bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
And then he brought up the girl who bought his portrait, Katie, and he finally shows her the photo of Sarah.
Yep. And Quinn thought it was Katie in the photo. She's like, "How do you already know her?" I'm like, Quinn, try to put two and two together here.
Well, it is a little weird. Okay, like, do you really think in real life that happened? Like that they're the same person?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, come on. They should have hired an actress that looks similar to her, but not exactly the same actress.
Right.
Because it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he could have looked at her thinking of his wife, but she has some of the similar features, but not looking exactly like her. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. You can hire someone that looks just like her, but not her.
I mean, they say that everybody has like their own doppelganger or whatever, but I don't know how similar that would actually be if they were to compare. But
that's why they could have had someone similar, and that's why he is still thrown off. Because I mean, think about it. There are people that you do see, and you're like, "Oh, that's never mind," because like they turn around and it's not them. It could have been similar to that. Of like she has features of her, so that's why he can't work with her.
Yeah.
Because Sarah and Quinn are totally different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well. So just hire someone that looks similar to her and you're good. Well, not the actual one. So yeah, I think I would be the same way of like, what? Because also you would never think that she would dye her hair and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I would agree with that too.
Yeah, so Quinn probably thought if anything he was confessing that he was probably cheating on her with Katie.
Well, no, it might have been just even if it was like Katie, I don't think it would. I think it would have just been like, oh, I knew her from my past.
Yeah,
I think that's what it might have been. Not because I mean, think about it, where'd that picture come from? I mean, like how old is this picture? So I feel like that's what it would have been. I feel like is she just was in his past, if anything.
Yeah. And then in bed, Julian tells Brooke she showed him something special tonight. And Brooke says she's trying to forget what they saw tonight with her mom and Alexander.
Me too.
And Julian says who would have thought that she, of all people, would rescue Alex. And Brooke says she didn't do anything. He's the one bailing her out. And Julian says thanks to her. And then he asks if Brooke remembers their first night in the house. And she remembers about saying, what if they ruin it? And Julian tells her every night that he spent away from her, he dreams about being in the room together. And now they're there, back together, and so looks even more beautiful than in his dreams. And he tells her he loves her, and he never stopped loving her for one night or moment, and he never will. Nothing can ruin them. And then, meanwhile, Haley can't sleep and goes outside and breaks down. And this is this whole episode, really, but this is the ending here, the part where we really see that this is the beginning of her depression / major grief arc. So,
well, I think you could have seen it when she hugged Nathan.
Yeah, I know, but like we never saw her show like real emotion until now with the breaking down here. Before she was kind of like, kind of out in space a little bit.
Well, and the fact that Nathan didn't even feel her get out of bed.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's not a light sleeper, I guess. Yeah.
But I don't know if he really is a light sleeper because I feel like in the past he wasn't. He was always he was always a light sleeper, I feel like.
I don't know.
So I'm like, all of a sudden he's sleeping heavy.
Mhm.
Too much time with Jamie.
Maybe, yeah.
Because he doesn't babysit him enough.
Mm-hmm.
Air quotes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That was because yeah, it's the beginning of it. So for me, the high was definitely skills punch in mouth and the curtain falling and exposing those two. That was definitely the high because it was so entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
And then the low, I mean, Haley at the end, but then skills being in the dark, I don't like that. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, pretty
Oh,
much.
and Clay not telling Quinn from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much the same. The high was the whole them finding out, skills find out about Lauren and Mouth, and then Brooke find out about her mom and Alexander. And then the low was just Haley and all her side moments that she was trying to hide from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then rating,
I would rate this a 9. I liked it.
like 8.5.
I think
Because I mean,
the last episode you were high, I was low.
it seemed like nothing too much happened really until the gallery opening,
Yeah, but it was still good.
Yeah.
And again, the glass breaking, which I thought there's gonna be more. See, they would have got a 9.5 if I would have seen the aftermath of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I did it.
Mm-hmm.
And then who is your best and worst?
The best was Brooke, just because she was, encouraging Julian to help Alex with this whole scandal thing, because he was probably just gonna let her get pushed under the bus. And I just also didn't like how he just kind of blamed Alex and never really was that mad at Josh, because he was the one that had it on his computer too and brought it to work with him. But yeah, and then Brooke was trying to, be supportive for Quinn and everything at the gallery. And she was just kind of going through it too with the whole her mom and Alexander too. So yeah. And then the worst was Mouth and Lauren, but Mouth more just because he was the best friend of Skills and waited to the last second for it to just all blow up in their faces. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that the best was Brooke too, for the same reasons, because she was helping Alex and Julian.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, the worst was Mouth. Because why?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I have a whole issue with the storyline. So, and I'm going with him specifically because, like you said, he is the best friend, and Lauren and Skills are not together, so it's not like, I mean, yeah, she's still at fault, but like, who's more at fault? The best friend. So yes, but also I will say, Skills gets a golden ticket because he punched him.
Right.
I'll always love it. So yeah, I will agree with you that definitely Mouth is the worst and Brooke is the best.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's next episode?
Episode 21, What's in the Ground Belongs to You.
Mm-hmm.
Which just kind of sounds like another death to a character, but we know that's not going to happen, so it seemed kind of heavy for the title, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's Haley's depression.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for listening.
Yep, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Duo Chat. If you want to chime in with your opinion about the episode and the show we discussed, you can email us at duochatpodcast@gmail.com. And to keep up with updates about the podcast, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube at Duo Chat Podcast. And give us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. We would appreciate it.